In the quiet basin, Xiaoyin hovered in the air, keeping watch. He was on high alert to prevent any disturbances, while below him, Yingying slowly regulated her breathing. After all, undergoing tribulation was no trivial matter. A single misstep could lead to disastrous consequences, so Yingying wasn't about to leave anything to chance. Even the slightest increase in her success rate was worth the effort. Phew! As Yingying completed the final breath adjustment, her tightly closed eyes gently flickered open. "You've certainly embraced the role of a sentry," she said with a hint of amusement as she glanced up at Xiaoyin, who was floating above. He looked rather comical, his body leaning slightly to one side as if he were a scale tipping over. However, Xiaoyin remained completely oblivious to how he appeared, for his entire focus was on his mental energy and the divine motion natal core inscription. Ever since Elder Zhu taught him how to cultivate spiritual energy, and with the surge in his mental strength due to the sacred flame's power, this was the first time Xiaoyin had used the abilities of a battle array master. Xiaoyin was startled by how, upon activating the dense formation composed of 6,000 natal inscriptions that represented the mastery of the Grandmaster level in battle arrays, he felt as though everything within this space was under his control. He couldn't help but be astonished. The space wasn't small by any means, spanning hundreds of meters in radius. Hovering mid-air, Xiaoyin split a portion of his soul energy to check if anyone was approaching Yingying, while the rest of his attention remained focused on his spiritual energy. "Let's begin," Yingying said quietly. "First, I need to expel the energy I absorbed earlier from the Yingying Imperial Pool. Once it's released, I'll immediately consume it, and with the help of the sacred flame, passing the Dodi Tribulation shouldn't be too difficult. Though I have to say, it's strange that the sacred flame crystal told me I can't use any medicinal pills during the tribulation," she muttered to herself, already formulating her plan. Yingying stood up and approached the edge of the pool. It no longer resembled the clear water she had seen upon her arrival. After scattering some powder into it, the pool had turned murky, and the temperature was rising steadily. Before long, the water began to bubble and boil, as if it were a pot of water over a high flame. The heat radiated outward, warming the entire basin. The sacred flame crystal really does work wonders. A smile tugged at Yingying's lips as she leaped into the water with a splash. The murky water drenched her entirely, but yellowish energy slowly began to seep from her body, dispersing into the pool. Is this the mysterious power she absorbed from the Yingying Imperial Pool? Xiaoyin muttered, breaking his concentration to observe her. Yingying's entire body was submerged in the water, with only her smooth forehead visible above the surface, the rest of her form hidden in the cloudy depths. Strange, the temperature isn't high, yet bubbles are rising everywhere, Xiaoyin noted, puzzled. This girl is hiding more than she lets on. At that moment, the sacred flame spirit within Xiaoyin's body spoke up suddenly. Xiaoyin replied, confused. Don't say I didn't warn you. The powder she scattered into the pool? It's no ordinary substance, said the heart rock spirit with a low chuckle. It's a catalyst, but one that can only be created by someone who has a deep mastery of the sacred flame. The sacred flame? Xiaoyin cast a quick glance at Yingying below. The mysteries of the sacred flame go deeper than you think. There are many secrets within it, but discovering them will be up to you. The spirit's voice was solemn. Xiaoyin nodded thoughtfully, mulling over the implications. If what the heart rock said was true, then Yingying's control over the sacred flame was even greater than his own. This was no small matter. Xiaoyin was a skilled alchemist with an exceptional mastery over flames, yet Yingying appeared to surpass him in this regard. This revelation left him perplexed. She's smart, though, the heart rock spirit mused. By expelling the energy within her, she'll provoke the Dodi Tribulation. Then, using her sacred flame and that mysterious energy, she'll attempt to break through. That mysterious energy, Xiaoyin murmured. He understood the spirit was referring to the power they had absorbed from the Yingying Imperial Pool. It had been lying dormant deep within their bodies, so well hidden that without actively searching, they wouldn't have found it. However, as Xiaoyin tried to sense that energy within himself, he found nothing. He couldn't figure out where the mysterious power had gone. "Stop looking," the heart rock spirit snorted. "The power in you merged with the sacred flame when you absorbed it." Xiaoyin felt a wave of frustration. "Oh, by the way, don't think absorbing the sacred flame is going to be a simple task," the heart rock spirit continued. "It's even more dangerous than the heavenly flames you've dealt with before. You'll need special resources, heavenly treasures, and medicinal pills, just to stand a chance at absorbing it. Whether or not you succeed will be up to your fate," the spirit warned. "What?" Xiaoyan's eyes widened in shock. Wasn't the process of absorbing the Fireheart heavenly rock smooth? Why was the sacred flame so much more complicated? "Don't look at me," the spirit said, as if reading his thoughts. "I'm an exception. Because I've spent countless years suppressing the extraterritorial evil clan in the desert mountain range, I've been separated from the sacred flame crystal. Also, the previous owner's permission played a part in making it easier for you." "I see," Xiaoyin nodded, contemplating the explanation. What the spirit said was true. If not for the cooperation of the Heart Rock and Kwang Mu Immortal Master, as well as the sacred flame crystal, absorbing the sacred flame would have been far more difficult. Still, Xiaoyin had a feeling that the Heart Rock wasn't telling him everything. There was an unspoken connection between the spirit and his ancestor, Xiao Mu, that Xiaoyin had yet to uncover. "I've already gathered the necessary materials. Absorbing any of the sacred flames ranked below the top 20 shouldn't be an issue," he muttered to himself. "But the Rising Sun pill, ranked as a second-grade imperial pill, will pose a challenge for me. As for the 3 key materials required to absorb the sacred flame, the Tri-Flame Flower, Blood Spirit Ice Essence, and ingredients for the Rising Sun pill, he had already secured everything. The only thing left was to refine the Rising Sun pill. Be careful. Her aura is changing. She's about to trigger the heavenly tribulation." The Heart Rock spirit's voice suddenly interrupted Xiaoyan's thoughts. Xiaoyan immediately looked up. The space above Mu Yingying, about a few dozen meters away, began to distort, as if some terrifying force was manifesting. Boom, boom, boom. In that instant, the space around them trembled violently, and Xiaoyan could see bolts of lightning, each as large as a fist, crackling in the air. "Damn it!" Xiaoyan cursed as he shot downwards in a flash, sensing danger from the brewing lightning. Even with his current strength at the late stage of 6-star Do D, he couldn't help but feel a tightening in his chest when he first sensed the power of the thunder. Meanwhile, Mu Yingying, submerged in the murky pool below, continued to draw out a yellowish energy from her surroundings. "Just a little more," she muttered, clearly aware of the purity of the energy from the Xinling Imperial Pool, though she still had some residual power within her body that needed to be released. Suddenly, the thunderclouds above dispersed as quickly as they had appeared, vanishing as if they had never existed. "What's going on with the lightning?" Xiaoyin murmured, frowning as he landed near Mu Yingying. He glanced at the sky, puzzled by the sudden disappearance of the thunderclouds. "No, something's wrong." Just as Xiaoyin thought the danger had passed, a chill crept up his spine. The space above, which had been contained by his intricate formation, began to tremble violently. Dark thunderclouds, brimming with destructive power, materialized once more. "Damn it! These thunderclouds?" Xiaoyin cursed under his breath, casting a glance at Mu Yingying, who was still focused on gathering the yellow energy. His eyes flickered with concern. "I can't let these thunderclouds break through the formation. If they cause too much of a disturbance, they might attract other strong members from the Incense Pavilion. Even though they mean no harm, with Mu Yingying's pride and her mysterious background." Xiaoyin shook his head, refusing to let things spiral out of control. Without hesitation, Xiaoyin sat down cross-legged, the divine motion natal core inscription within him spinning rapidly. "It's not enough," he roared, as more yellow energy surged from within him, spreading outwards to fortify the formation. As the yellow inscriptions collided with the formation's barrier, the trembling slowly subsided, and the space around them began to stabilize. 6,300 inscriptions. 6,600 inscriptions. Xiaoyin was drenched in sweat, but at last, the formation held firm, quelling the disturbance. The thunderclouds above still radiated terrifying energy, but they no longer resisted his formation, instead expanding ominously, preparing for an even more fearsome strike. What in the world is Mu Yingying up to? Xiaoyin glanced at her again, noting that she remained motionless in the pool. The thunderclouds overhead continued to grow, and even Xiaoyin, an experienced alchemist familiar with Dan Thunder, couldn't help but feel the gravity of the situation. Time passed unnoticed in the basin as a full day slipped by. Outside the incense pavilion, various events unfolded. After the conclusion of the individual competition, many disciples chose to enter seclusion, both to reflect on their experiences and to cultivate in preparation for the upcoming team battles. With only 2 days remaining before the team event, the incense pavilion bustled with activity. Elder Zhu, this isn't fair, a middle-aged man said with a chuckle inside Elder Zhu's room. That little E in your human hall, from what I've seen, his strength isn't far off from some of the elders. If he participates in the team battles, it wouldn't be fair to the rest of us in the incense pavilion. The man, addressed as the Earth Hall Master, was none other than the father of the little witch, Ling Mengsheng. Ling Mengsheng was a genuine 9-star Do-D, though it was unclear how many turns he had reached in this rank. Your little witch has been unruly for far too long. It's about time someone put her in her place, Elder Zhu said with a faint smile. I can't blame anyone but myself. Ever since her mother passed away, I've spoiled her too much, Ling Mengsheng sighed, his expression filled with regret. You can't blame yourself for everything. After all, the Xinling royal family. Elder Zhu's tone grew serious as he trailed off. The Xinling royal family. I'll never reconcile with them. After this sect competition, I'll resign as hall master, Ling Mengsheng said, his voice suddenly taking on a fierce and twisted quality. Everything the Xinling royal family took from me, I'll make them return tenfold. For now, let's put your grudge aside. As long as you're part of the incense pavilion, no one will dare to touch you, Elder Zhu reassured him. Even someone like Elder Zhu felt compassion for Ling Mengsheng's plight. Let's not dwell on that today. I actually came to talk about little E. I assume he's some kind of fire spirit? Ling Mengsheng asked with a smile. Yes. If Little E doesn't compete, your human hall will only have 4 participants, which wouldn't meet the requirements for the team competition, Elder Zhu replied, his expression showing that he had anticipated this conversation. I knew you'd say that, Ling Mengsheng smiled knowingly. Have you forgotten about Ling Xian? Ling Xian? Elder Zhu was surprised. You're suggesting that the Earth Hall and the Human Hall join forces? Though not unheard of, such a partnership was rare, given that the members of the Earth Hall were generally stronger than those in the Human Hall. Don't worry, I'll handle the rest, Ling Mengsheng reassured him. You're really willing to go that far, even against your own daughter? Elder Zhu chuckled. I have no choice. She's been too sheltered her whole life. I need to make her learn independence if I'm to avenge her mother, Ling Mengsheng said with a sigh. Fine, leave it to me. I'll take care of it, Elder Zhu replied calmly. Thank you. With that, Ling Mengsheng disappeared. A clash between Ling Mengsheng and the Xinling royal family is inevitable. Saving Yingying, Elder Zhu muttered to himself. He rubbed his temples, overwhelmed by the growing list of troubles, including the team competition and the ghost realm. Hasn't it finished yet? Xiaoyin thought, his gaze fixed on the sky. The thunderclouds were now more concentrated than the Dan thunderclouds that formed during his pill refinement. Whoosh! Just as Xiaoyin voiced his concerns, Mu Yingying suddenly rose from the pool. The brilliant yellow energy she had been gathering condensed into 10 droplets, each one radiating a force so powerful that it seemed to shake the heavens. Let's see how terrifying this Do-D tribulation really is, Mu Yingying said, her gaze fixed on the sky. An unyielding will emanated from her as she stared down the thunderclouds, determined to defy the heavens. Her eyes locked onto the expanding storm above. Boom, boom, boom. Thunder roared from the dense clouds, the energy swirling within growing more intense, as if the very next lightning strike could tear the sky apart. Can you hold on? Mu Yingying's aura surged to the peak of a 5-star Do-D, just one step away from breaking through to the early stage of 6-star Do-D. Don't worry about the tribulation. Leave the rest to me. Xiao Yin laughed heartily as he channeled his mental energy and the power of the sacred flame, continually catalyzing the divine motion natal core inscription within him to produce more inscriptions to fortify the barrier. If it shattered under the terrifying force of the thunderclouds, the concealment of their location would be completely lost. Thanks, Yingying said softly, her gratitude evident in her gaze, though she wasn't one for many words. Her eyes then turned serious as she tightly grasped the 10 droplets of liquid she had gathered. So this is the Do-Di Tribulation? Yingying murmured, her red lips barely moving, her eyes fixed on the densely packed thunderclouds above the barrier. Though she wasn't an alchemist, with the sacred flame within her and her heightened senses, Yingying knew Xiao Yin had sealed off the area with some special power. This suited her just fine, as she wasn't fond of mingling with most humans, except for the few people in the human hall who made her feel a sense of warmth. The thunderclouds above churned violently, lightning crackling in every direction, making the entire space feel increasingly unstable. Yet, despite the terrifying density and power of the clouds, no actual lightning strikes had materialized. The 6-star Do-Di Tribulation, truly a pivotal test for human Do-Dis, Yingying muttered as her eyes scanned the sky. A deep sense of unease began to stir in her heart. I remember when my brother faced the 6-star Do-Di Tribulation, he endured it purely with his own strength. Her lips quivered, and a trace of sadness flickered in her eyes. Brother? Her quiet voice did not escape Xiao Yan's heightened senses. Of course, Xiao Yin wasn't to blame for overhearing. After all, the entire area was under the control of his spiritual formation, making it impossible for any movement within the formation to elude him. This Yingying's background is more mysterious than I thought, Xiao Yin pondered. Who could her brother be? Someone who could withstand the 6-star Do-Di Tribulation through sheer force. It's hard to imagine. Let's do this. After a brief hesitation, Yingying shouted softly. Her entire body surged with Do-Chi, and a streak of blue flame fiercely shot toward the thunderclouds above. As soon as Yingying's blue flame Do-Chi made contact with the thunderclouds, the clouds seemed to react, moving directly toward her position. Is she out of her mind? Xiao Yan's heart skipped a beat. The intensity of the thunderclouds was such that if they struck directly, the explosion would likely shatter the entire formation. He prepared to intervene, but a voice from within stopped him. Are you stupid? Let me tell you, kid. This girl is undergoing a tribulation. Don't go messing things up. The heart rock spirit snorted, rolling its eyes. She's provoking the thunderclouds with her Do-Chi, then attacking them to trigger the corresponding lightning tribulation, the spirit explained. Corresponding lightning tribulation? Xiao Yin was taken aback. You don't understand, do you? The heart rock spirit teased. Let me teach you. The path of a human Do-Di is divided into 3 stages. The first is the 6-star Do-Di Tribulation. When someone reaches the pinnacle of 5-star Do-Di, they'll encounter an inexplicable barrier within their body, preventing further progress. That's called the 6-star Do-Di Life Tribulation. Only by passing this tribulation will a force called the power of life be born within the body. The power starts as white and is ranked from 1 to 9, with 1 being the weakest and 9 the strongest. Without overcoming this tribulation, no matter how hard you try, your strength will remain stuck at the peak of 5-star Do-Di. But, let me tell you, the 6-star Do-Di Life Tribulation is no easy hurdle to clear, the spirit said with a mischievous grin. Xiao Yin felt a weight settle in his chest. The power of life is the hallmark of a 6-star Do-Di, and it's much more powerful than ordinary Do-Chi, the spirit continued. Though, to be honest, your flame-infused Do-Chi doesn't seem to be any weaker than the power of life. There's so much I didn't know about, Xiao Yin chuckled at himself, realizing how unaware he had been of such crucial information. What about the other 2 tribulations? Xiao Yin asked, his curiosity piqued now that he had learned about the first. The heart rock spirit's voice grew more serious. After the first tribulation, when you reach the peak of 8-star Do-Di and are on the verge of entering 9-star Do-Di, you'll encounter the Do-Di Death Tribulation. Upon passing it, you'll gain the power of death, which, like the power of life, is ranked from 1 to 9. The Do-D death tribulation is even harder to overcome. A single mistake could leave you obliterated by the tribulation's lightning. But if you survive the death tribulation, you can enter the 9-turn 9-star Do-D. A whole new level of power, the spirit added. And the last tribulation? Xiaoyan asked, sensing that this was the most dangerous of all. The third and final tribulation is the most terrifying and the one that countless geniuses dread facing. The Do-D life and death tribulation. To become a Do-Xian, a Do-D must merge the power of life and power of death perfectly within their body. They must compress their Do-Qi and condense a Do-Core. Only then can they advance. Every step must be perfect, or their soul will be scattered by the forces of life and death in the great thousand worlds. 6-star Do-D life tribulation, 8-star Do-D death tribulation, and the life and death tribulation at the peak of Do-D, Xiaoyan repeated, slowly digesting the spirit's words. You've got a long way to go, kid, the heart rock spirit chuckled. Despite knowing Xiaoyan's potential, especially with the flame mantra within him, the spirit couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement about Xiaoyan's future. I never realized the Do-D rank involved so many complex steps, Xiaoyan sighed. He was already at the late stage of 6-star Do-D, but his inability to generate the power of life had left him feeling stuck. Look out! The thunderclouds are changing color. The spirit's voice interrupted his thoughts. What? Xiaoyan looked up, his heart pounding. The thunderclouds above were swirling violently. The previously colorless clouds had been overwhelming in their density, giving even Xiaoyan a sense of unease. Now, however, the clouds began to rapidly change, swirling into a variety of colors in mere moments. Within seconds, 5 distinct colors emerged: green, red, yellow, blue, and black. It's not over yet. Xiaoyan glanced at Yingying, noticing that her eyes were now closed, her body surrounded by the pure blue flames of the sacred flame. Above her, the thunderclouds continued to churn and expand. Boom, boom, boom. The thunder roared, and in an instant, the sky was filled with a terrifying array of 5 different colored bolts of lightning, signaling the arrival of the most fearsome phase of the tribulation yet. The 5-colored thunderclouds radiated an overwhelming, hair-raising power, far more terrifying than anything Xiaoyan had encountered when refining pills in the past. It's not over yet. Yingying sensed an unusual fluctuation from the 5-colored thunderclouds above, but remained unfazed, even allowing a small smile to tug at her lips. She understood very well that the more colors a tribulation's thunderclouds had, the more fearsome the power it would unleash during the breakthrough. However, the greater the danger, the more potent the power of life born from the tribulation, which would be key to her future battles. After surviving the 6-star Do-D life tribulation, the quality of the power of life within her would directly affect her combat prowess. This girl is truly extraordinary. The heart rock spirit within Xiaoyan's body commented quietly, observing the now 6-colored thunderclouds. With such terrifying thunderclouds, it's hard to imagine her handling this with her current strength, Xiaoyan thought, his expression grim. Despite their close relationship, he couldn't ignore the fact that Yingying, with her sealed sacred flame and mysterious background, harbored many secrets. His brows furrowed in concern. Though their connection was special, Xiaoyan couldn't stand by idly if any of his comrades were in danger. I may not like admitting it, but her sacred flame is far stronger than yours, the heart rock spirit reluctantly said, its sharp senses picking up on the subtle yet intense energy radiating from Yingying. The heart rock that Xiaoyan possessed ranked 35th, but even in its sealed state, Yingying's sacred flame was causing enough disturbance to warrant attention. The basin above them was alive with the roar of thunder and lightning. The thunderclouds continued to churn, and the basin's perimeter was sealed by Xiaoyan's mental energy, the core inscriptions he had created forming the dense barrier protecting the area. Boom, boom, boom. The 6-colored thunderclouds rolled, generating waves of power so intense that even space itself seemed to tremble. Xiaoyan's vigilance heightened. Even as a late-stage 6-star Do-D, he felt strained, let alone Yingying, who was still only at the peak of 5-star Do-D. Damn it! If this keeps up, Mu Yingying might not even get a chance to face the tribulation before my formation shatters under the sheer force of these clouds, Xiaoyan muttered, glancing at the sky, where the 6-colored thunderclouds caused faint ripples in his formation, threatening its stability. 6 colors, it's not enough. Mu Yingying's gaze remained fixed on the sky as she sensed the tremendous pressure from the clouds, but didn't back down. She spoke with determination. Boom, boom. Without hesitation, Mu Yingying unleashed a surge of her blue sacred flame, raising her hand and sending it roaring toward the 6-colored thunderclouds. Swish! In just an instant, the clouds reacted, and after a few short breaths, a 7th color began to faintly emerge. 7-colored thunderclouds. If she withstands this, the power of life within her will reach the 7th rank. The heart rock spirit mused in awe. The power of life ranks from 1 to 9, and 7 is incredibly high. This could become her ultimate weapon in the future. This girl is crazy, Xiaoyan sighed as he refocused his mental energy, stabilizing the formation while simultaneously using the impact of the thunderclouds to solidify the boost his mental energy had received from the sacred flame. Phew, phew. Mu Yingying's forehead was now beaded with sweat, and a serious look flashed in her eyes. She knew that the 7-colored thunderclouds were her absolute limit. Any further increase in the tribulation's difficulty, and she wouldn't be able to survive it. If she couldn't withstand the thunder tribulation, the consequences would be disastrous, potentially damaging her very core. With him here, I'll risk it. Mu Yingying shot a glance at Xiaoyan, her thoughts recalling their shared experiences in the Corpse Forest and the Xinling Imperial Pool. Gritting her teeth, she unleashed an even greater wave of sacred flame, its force exploding out of her and surging fiercely toward the sky. Swish! The 7-colored thunderclouds had been brewing for some time, seemingly gathering strength for a strike meant to obliterate Mu Yingying in her attempt to pass the tribulation. However, upon Mu Yingying's release of her terrifying sacred flame, the clouds began to shudder violently. From the center of the thunderclouds, a force so terrifying that it caused Xiaoyan's formation to tremble emerged slowly. Is that the 8th-colored thunderclouds? Xiaoyan's pupils constricted. With the heart rock spirit inside him, Xiaoyan knew the thunderclouds could form up to 9 colors. However, each additional color exponentially increased the tribulation's power. The 8-colored thunderclouds were a rarity that even the top experts of the mystic 3 heavens seldom encountered at the peak of 5-star Do D. This girl is either recklessly bold or truly a terrifying powerhouse, the heart rock spirit remarked, now beginning to take Mu Yingying seriously. Be careful. The 8th-colored thunderclouds are nearly fully formed. It looks like Mu Yingying's goal is to endure the 8-colored lightning tribulation, the spirit warned. The power of the 8-colored thunderclouds is unimaginable. If this is what the 8th-colored tribulation is like, I can't even begin to fathom the horror of the 9th-colored tribulation, Xiaoyan thought in amazement. Heh, the heart rock spirit chuckled. The 9-colored thunderclouds are indeed catastrophic, capable of obliterating anything in their path. One mistake, and you'll be wiped out completely. Boom, boom, boom. Above them, the thunderclouds swirled into 8 distinct colors. The 8-colored thunderclouds fused together, forming a massive ring of destruction in the sky. 8-colored thunderclouds. Mu Yingying's eyes opened slightly, and for the first time, a flicker of uncertainty appeared in her heart. Sacred flame crystal. Come forth. Mu Yingying, now fully aware of the danger posed by the 8-colored thunderclouds, wasted no time. Her red lips moved, and immediately, a crystalline, prismatic object flashing with blue light emerged from within her. The moment the blue sacred flame crystal appeared, the space around them grew even more unstable. On one side, the destructive power of the 8-colored thunderclouds loomed, while on the other, the sacred flame crystal in Mu Yingying's hands radiated an equally terrifying energy. Hold it down. Xiaoyan clenched his teeth as he poured even more mental energy into the formation. His core inscriptions had now swelled to 6,900, barely managing to stabilize the formation. The atmosphere was tense as Mu Yingying and the 8-colored thunderclouds, like gunpowder and a match, were primed to explode at any moment. As soon as Yingying grasped the sacred flame crystal, waves of blue sacred flame energy began to emanate from it, swiftly enveloping her entire body in an unyielding flame. "Come at me," Yingying teased, her voice soft yet filled with strength. Wrapped in flames like a fire queen, she gazed up at the 8-colored thunderclouds and offered a serene smile. Boom, boom, boom. The 8-colored thunderclouds seemed to respond to Yingying's provocation. From the center of the swirling clouds, a terrifying bolt of lightning containing all 8 colors materialized, flashing with sinister power. Like the wrath of the heavens, it descended toward Yingying with destructive force. Hmph! Without hesitation, Yingying raised her jade-like hand, holding the sacred flame crystal high as she faced the incoming bolt head-on. Boom, boom, boom. The 8-colored lightning halted abruptly, freezing in midair a mere 5 feet from Yingying, as if it were suppressed by an invisible force. In the next instant, the sacred flame crystal in her hand erupted with dazzling blue flames, completely engulfing the 8-colored lightning, which was promptly devoured by the sacred flame. "Her control over the sacred flame is frightening," Xiaoyin murmured as he backed off to a safer distance, watching with astonishment. Though the exchange had been brief, Xiaoyin, with his keen alchemist's insight, quickly discerned Yingying's technique. She had used the sacred flame crystal as a conduit, injecting her entire aura into it. When the 8-colored lightning struck, she unleashed the sacred flame's power at just the right moment, rendering the tribulation ineffective. Such precise manipulation of flame energy would require an immense amount of soul power, something that even Xiaoyin felt a bit inadequate in comparison to. Boom, boom, boom. Seemingly provoked by Yingying's effortless defense, the 8-colored thunderclouds trembled violently, and a new, destructive wave of energy began to build. Swish! 3 enormous pillars of lightning shot down from the thunderclouds, each one containing the raw power of the heavens, aiming directly at Yingying. "While this tribulation is frightening, my sacred flame makes it manageable," Yingying whispered calmly to herself. Although the force within the tribulation was overwhelming, she showed no fear. With the sacred flame in her possession, the challenge didn't seem insurmountable, even though her flame was still sealed. Zzz. ZZZT. The 8-colored thunderclouds seemed to hesitate. The ferocious lightning tribulation, which had always forced humans to retreat in fear, now seemed weak and ineffective against this woman. It was as if the mighty thunderclouds had encountered an opponent they couldn't touch. Roar! The 8-colored thunderclouds swirled violently, and within moments, a colossal figure began to emerge from the center of the spinning storm. A tribulation spirit born from the 8-colored lightning. The heart rock spirit's voice trembled, a chill running down its core as it observed the massive entity. "Tribulation spirit?" Xiaoyin murmured, his eyes narrowing in curiosity. When the thunderclouds reach 7 colors or more during a tribulation, there's a chance a tribulation spirit will be born. These spirits take on various forms, but each one carries immense destructive power, the heart rock explained. This tribulation spirit is far more terrifying than the lightning alone. Swish! At that moment, the 8-colored thunderclouds disappeared, replaced by a gargantuan creature slowly crawling out from the void left behind. From afar, the tribulation spirit stood hundreds of meters tall. Its head was small, with glowing eyes brimming with an endless desire to kill. Its limbs were fully formed, yet strange energies covered its entire body. Lightning of 8 colors crackled all over its silver, muscular frame, radiating unparalleled strength. "Die, Tribulation Challenger!" the Tribulation Spirit roared, its voice shaking the very space around them as the creature's immense pressure filled the area, pressing down on Xiaoyin and straining the protective formation. The Tribulation Spirit's power rivaled that of a peak 6-star Do-D, and its strength surpassed even Xiaoyin's current level. Before Xiaoyin could react and reinforce the formation, the massive Tribulation Spirit moved. Its huge body shot toward Yingying like a lightning bolt, bringing with it a torrent of thunder and wind as it charged through the sky. "Damn it!" Yingying muttered, clearly surprised by the appearance of the Tribulation Spirit. She quickly ignited the sacred flame crystal in her hand, releasing another surge of potent flame. Yingying knew she couldn't afford to be careless. This tribulation spirit held the key to her success in passing the tribulation, and its strength couldn't be underestimated. Her eyes flickered, quickly devising a plan in her mind. Everything happened in an instant. Phew. Yingying's hand glowed as she summoned the mysterious energy she had absorbed from the Xinling Imperial Pool. In the blink of an eye, the energy condensed into 10 golden droplets in her palm. She wasted no time. There was no room for hesitation. Boom! As soon as Yingying brought out the golden droplets, her body was immediately bathed in a radiant golden light, as if she had turned into a shimmering golden coin. Boom! The next moment, Yingying clenched her hand, and a surge of golden energy erupted from her palm. "Go!" she whispered, her lips barely moving. With a swift push of her hand, the golden energy shot toward the tribulation spirit, colliding with its enormous form. The tribulation spirit, still charging at Yingying, suddenly froze, as if taken by surprise. As the golden energy seeped into its body, the creature's immense power rapidly diminished. In just a few short breaths, the tribulation spirit's strength had plummeted, falling to the level of an early-stage 6-star Do-D. It was as if the golden liquid was a poison, sapping its power the moment it made contact. Haha, looks like this tribulation spirit was originally as strong as a peak 6-star Do-D. A level that would be too much for us to handle, Xiaoyan muttered with a faint smile. But Yingying's attack just reduced its strength. The golden energy must have come from the mysterious force she absorbed in the Xinling Imperial Pool, condensed and enhanced by the sacred flame. Xiaoyan continued, watching the battle unfold. "Now let's see how you struggle," Yingying said with a dangerous smile, her body moving in a blur as she launched herself at the weakened tribulation spirit. This is the real tribulation, Xiaoyan thought, excitement welling up within him as he watched. He was eager to see just how much power Yingying had hidden and what other tricks she might have up her sleeve. As the tribulation spirit howled in rage, its strength reduced, it filled the space with its fury. The battle between Yingying and the tribulation spirit was about to begin, and this time, it would be a true fight for survival. A life-and-death struggle was about to unfold as Yingying prepared to face the tribulation spirit head-on.